Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And now before we get into any of the news of today, I want to quickly thank you all for pressing the like button and subscribing. I really appreciate all the support that I've been seeing. Also on Twitter, we've been getting a ton of followers on here. I think we got like 20 or so within the last 24 hours. It's really been amazing the support that I'm seeing, and I just want to say that I appreciate all of you. And also the guys that are checking out my second channel called Dusty Finance. Really appreciate that as well. There's no advertisements on any of these videos, and I think they're pretty good. There's a couple of news videos, the last 5 are, and there's a couple of, I guess, more tips that I have on here, and I just recommend you guys to just briefly check it out. I'm going to be posting more, videos that could last forever on there as well, but I just recommend you guys to check it out as it's really some cool stuff. For today, I want to quickly take a look back at an article that actually is from about 1.5 years ago. It reads, "Ripple is seeping into the core of the global financial system." Over the past few years, we've seen Ripple expanding. In particular, Ripple's relations with the most powerful global financial institutions are strengthening. By compiling a timeline of significant events, and these are just the public ones, we get an idea of how deeply Ripple is penetrating finance, and this also gives an idea of what we can expect to see in the distant and not so distant future. Here we will look at Ripple's collaboration with the central banks, the IMF, and the Federal Reserve. So we all know what Ripple is, right? I don't think I have to explain to any of y'all what Ripple is, what they do, and what they are capable of. However, look at this. Ripple's blossoming relationship with the IMF is even more momentous, and let me explain why. That's one part that she already, what's her name now? Inbar Price explained to us a couple of years ago. But I also retweeted something earlier today. It comes from Guns Coffee and Crypto, at Gun Coffee Crypto on Twitter. He also posted a picture of the official IMF website, which read, "A new IMF liquidity backstop." We cannot predict when such liquidity shortages will happen, but we do know that when the global capital pipelines freeze up, a short-term liquidity problem can quickly slide into a deeper and longer-lasting solvency problem. A liquidity line that is available on demand can be a lifeline in such cases. And when I read this, I just blinked for a couple of times because I cannot believe that they posted things like that, which are just, in my opinion, really easy depictions of XRP and the power of that. And also, we're seeing it in the ties that Ripple has to the IMF, that there's a couple of good things that might be coming up here. To read further, the transnational role of the IMF. Well, that's a little bit more on what the IMF really has been doing for a very long time. You guys, I think, all know what they're doing in that sense. And here's a little bit more about Ripple accumulating clients and banks. And then the romance between the IMF and digital currencies, which we're going to read. The relationship between the IMF and Ripple has been simmering on low heat for a while. The IMF has been investigating and endorsing digital currencies more and more, and Ripple seems to have caught its eye. In March of 2017, the IMF established its high-level advisory group on fintech. Chris Larsen, executive chairman of Ripple, is a member, and the group will work closely with the IMF's Interdepartmental Working Group of Finance and Technology to study the economic and regulatory implications of developments in the area of finance and technology. The IMF completed its first high-level meeting on blockchain tech in April 2017, with head of regulatory relations Ryan Zagone present representing Ripple. So, in my opinion, this is all really been working for quite a while. All this has been on a low heat because I've not been seeing too many messages out there, but definitely we should not be ignoring that this is all coming up relatively shortly here. And what I get from the message that I just showed you guys is that it will really pop up when there's a crisis going on and when the need for such a thing is the highest. So to me, that looks like any of these months here, we could be seeing a couple of very big announcements, and that is not trying to do any or say anything far-fetched. That is just out of the words that they've said. I think that when crisis is highest, they will, at least in my opinion, allow Ripple to really spread across like wildfire, getting a lot of new announcements, a lot of new partnership, I guess, possibilities, and definitely a lot of new use cases for XRP specifically as well, as that's of course a big part of this whole ODL that's going on. Now, there's also a little part about Ripple and the Federal Reserve, which is actually also ridiculously interesting, and that's why I'm so amazed that I didn't get this article last year. I mean, I possibly have already read it before, but I just revisited it now because I don't even know how it got on my plate. But there's such amazing stuff in here, some good quality content that I thought I should bring it back to y'all, and that's why I did. And I really think we should sometimes take a little bit of a step back and look at all that we know from a historical perspective, rather than only the newest pieces of news, not connecting it to older stuff. Because, it's really kind of crazy. Federal Reserve has shown a lot of interest in crypto as well over the years. I mean, for example, here, in 2016, the Federal Reserve expressed its interest in blockchain tech with its paper, Distributed Ledger Technology in Payments, Clearing, and Settlement, which again, to me, is actually way more Ripple-y than anything else. But that's at least my personal opinion on it all. It all looks so good for Ripple, and I'm just wondering exactly when they'll get some of their stuff fixed. And when we'll get some of the more major, I guess, real deal-breaking announcements out. I don't know if they're waiting for the real crisis to occur when the need for liquidity is at the highest, or what exactly they're waiting for. I just know for a fact that there's some really good stuff coming up. Not only is Ripple gaining a spot in the IMF's heart, but it has also been collaborating with the Federal Reserve. Ripple played a leading role in 2015 to 2017 Federal Reserve Faster Payment Task Force. Ripple's Ryan Zagone was elected the steering committee of the task force, and this is an action plan to enabling faster payments in the US, which resulted in highlighting Ripple's ability to underpin the next generation of cross-border payments. Ripple was the only blockchain technology group selected to join JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, IBM, NASA, BFT, Visa, MasterCard, and over 300 others. And in addition, what I just said before, the report discusses how firms are increasingly exploring ways to develop and deploy DLT arrangements for use in payments, clearing, and settlement. Seeing that Ripple played a major role in the Fed's faster payment project, the following quote seems to hint at a possibility of a mass adoption. To quote, technologies that are successful in the pilot phase may then move towards the production stage. And as we know, there are a ton of projects right now, or I guess partnerships right now that Ripple has that are in this testing phase, the pilot phase, we might call it as well. And eventually, a lot of them are going to be finding it useful and will be switching over to the real production stage, right? We know a couple of them will quit because maybe the costs are still high, or maybe there's some fault in it. Maybe they didn't like it for some reason. But I think the majority, because of all the feedback that we've read from companies using Ripple, a lot of them will join and move it forward. And maybe at first they'll only be using a small part of RippleNet. But as we saw by Brad Garlinghouse, he said a lot of them will also switch over to ODL. We just got to catch them onto RippleNet first, which is another really good thing in my opinion. Technologies at this stage have the full set of features necessary to facilitate the storage, record keeping, and transfer of the asset being considered, and the final stage of the development process is broad adoption of technology by participants in the payments, clearing, and settlement system. So again, guys, if you don't think that is insanely good, I don't even know. I had to revisit this article. I had to get it to you guys. And also, by the way, I just want to see from you guys, are any of you interested in also writing articles like this on a news website? Because I'm thinking about starting up a news website. I've just been looking into, the little smaller preparations, but I think I'm going to need a little bit of a team. I want a couple people to also help me, maybe write some stuff, or I guess help the community out. And I just want to make it a more of an open thing, where a lot of people can put their stuff together. Like, not Twitter, because there's, of course, the character limit and there's too much nonsense, but just facts, no speculation on a website where, a lot of the news that we find important will be on. Not all the miscellaneous, random-ass stuff. No, all the news that we find important, that we want to know about. But I need some feedback from you guys as well, what you think about that. Would you check it out, or would you only watch the video still? CZ just asked on Twitter, listen to community time. What would you like to be improved or see improved, added, or removed from CoinMarketCap? And that is, of course, because Binance has moved Binance has bought CoinMarketCap, and at first we saw everybody say that there was not going to be a change in CoinMarketCap. We saw that from the CoinMarketCap current CEO, I believe, and Binance, I think, has also confirmed that. However, now they're doing it a little bit more differently and very, very smart. They're making it seem like it's a community effort, like they want to ask the community for what they want to change and then still change it in their own way, shape, or form. I think that's what they want to do. Of course, it's all on a bigger agenda, but hey, I think it's still cool that they're at least asking the community what they want. CoinGeek on this website, it was just posted that cash is no longer king, asserts Dutch central bank. And again, you guys know how we work in the Netherlands. That's where I'm from. And this is actually, fun fact, a place that I've worked. Yes, I've worked at the Nederlandse Bank. And it says here, the central bank of the Netherlands has seen the future, and it doesn't include a predominance of fiat. Instead, the Nederlandse Bank sees digital currency as the legitimate next step in the evolution of monetary systems and believes that central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are almost definitely going to become a major component of finance. Per the country's central bank, cash is no longer king. Wow. Sometimes I'm really freaking happy with the country that I'm in right now. I mean, the Netherlands here taking a very good step. Not the first, because China, Japan, and a couple of other countries have been talking about it. But I'm really, really proud to see that they're talking about it as well, and that they might be switching over to digital currencies at one point. At least it's cool to see that they're considering it, that they're talking about it actively as well. I'm pretty happy, guys. Really, really cool. Ripple's $1 billion head of XRP markets quietly leaves job. So it's something we've covered, I think, like 2 days ago already, because I think that's when we first saw it, maybe like 40 hours ago or so. But still no comment, nothing official. Miguel Villas, the role or the head of XRP markets, the $1 billion man. His LinkedIn shows he left, and we don't know what it is about. We don't know what happened. A couple months he said he has no plans to go anywhere, so really wondering what happened to him. And that's actually a legitimate human question, or I guess humanitarian. I don't even know, guys. You know what I'm trying to say. Just I'm wondering what happened to him. Is he all right? Has he been doing good? Has he been fired? Did he quit? Did he get sick? Because it's a really strange time, and we've covered him on the channel so many times that I'm legitimately wondering what happened to him, and I want to check on him, see if it's good. So if you guys know anything on him, make sure you share it with me on Twitter. All right, Bloomberg Analyst, halving is a non-event. Bloomberg Analyst Mike McGlone describes Bitcoin halving as a non-event. Bloomberg Analyst Mike McGlone, speaking to Cointelegraph, described Bitcoin halving as a non-event. Cointelegraph interviewed Bloomberg's senior commodity strategist, Mike McGlone, to learn more about the Bitcoin bullishness. He emphasized that the work he does for Bloomberg Intelligence is objective and devoid of salesmanship. To quote, "I'm Bloomberg Intelligence. They're all completely objective, and this does not reflect the views of Bloomberg at all. I'm completely objective in my outlook in the market. I don't make investment advice or recommend recommendations." McGlone has decades of experience as a commodities trader and has been really impressed with Bitcoin's robustness. To quote again, "The stock market had its biggest correction since the Great Depression, down 15%. I view that as quite significant that Bitcoin is weathering this storm yet, and the key thing I find about it is never stopped trading, never stopped, never halted, didn't have a third party guiding it, and I view that as someone who's been trading commodities my whole life, it is very impressive. I'm not bullish on anything else other than Bitcoin. I think the rest of the market is just a bunch of 5,000 wannabes, but the halving is for amateurs. It's a non-event, complete non-event. It's for amateurs. Since when do no-nos matter in markets?" Which is a very, little clap for him, very, very solid point. No-nos, so things we know up front that are going to be happening like this, like back to like a lot of those things. 9 out of 10 times they don't matter because people anticipate a certain movement in price already. And I think Benjamin Graham, and Warren Buffett, both of them, or at least one of them, Benjamin Graham, as a fact, has said in a book as well, The Intelligent Investor, that if people know about such a change or such a event, prices will not do good. Why? Because people are going to be buying into the coin or buying into the asset up front just before the physical change, or in this case, online change. And then once it occurs, there's not going to be people who are going to be buying it anymore. There's just going to be people who are going to be selling it for their profit because all the speculation happened up front and not after it. Ethereum to see brutal rejection as bearish trendline test approaches. Just briefly wanted to mention that. Ethereum caught some notable upwards momentum earlier today that has led it up towards the $180 region. The momentum has led it towards a key descending trendline that could spark a brutal rejection, and Ethereum also faces some intense horizontal resistance just a hair above its current price. Carl the Moon Martin says the time to buy Bitcoin is now. The Moon in an interview with BN Crypto maintains that the depth bubble is in the process of popping, with some things being the catalyst. You guys know what I'm talking about. Central banks around the world may even resort to buying stocks to save the financial sector, and Bitcoin has never been this oversold before a halving. The Moon stresses and will come out of this victorious. And last but not least, what would happen if Jeff Bezos bought all the Bitcoin in circulation? Well, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later in another crypto video. So if you guys are enjoying the daily crypto news, make sure you press the like button and subscribe for more. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, TheDustyBC, and check out my second channel called Dusty Finance. And also in the comment section, let me know how you guys would like a news website if I were to make one. I'm sometimes debating on Patreon or just a news website, because Patreon would have to be, I think, like paid, and a news website would just be free. So I don't know exactly what I want, but you guys just give me some feedback. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very, very nice day.